and welcome to the Ask Steph Show. Today I want to talk about a topic that I absolutely love, and that is pull-ups. I get a lot of questions from girls saying, alright, I see you doing pull-ups at the gym. How did you learn to do pull-ups, and how were you able to progress from doing 0 to 10 plus? Well, I actually owe most of the credit to my husband. My husband, Zach, always motivates me and pushes me to go beyond my mental limits. So a few years back, I couldn't do any pull-ups, and I just kept saying those 2 words that I dread now. I just can't do it. And he really pushed me to be like, alright, don't say you can't do something unless you've tried it once. So I got up on the pull-up bar, I tried it. I couldn't really do it, but with a little bit of help from him, I could. So it's like, alright, so maybe 70-80% of me could have done one, and I needed just a little bit of help. So maybe it's time for me to sit back, take some time to strengthen my back and those muscles in my arms that I need to be able to do a pull-up, and then in a month or so I'm going to try it again. So that's what I did. I put together my own training program, focused on strengthening my back several times a week, and I really worked at it for a few weeks. And then once that month mark hit again, I was like, alright, it's time to retest this. So I got up there and I did one. I only did one. It didn't look pretty, but I did one. And I realized a lot of times it's a mental battle, especially for females. We just think we can't do it. But sometimes you're stronger than you really think you are. So if you want to learn how to conquer a pull-up, I have a free training program on my website for you. I'm going to go over the basics now with you, but you can find that at beautifultothecore.com, and then go to the search box and just search Conquer Pull-Ups or Pull-Ups, and you can see the article there. And it's basically a couple months training program that will build up your back strength and get you able to do a pull-up or even more. I had a few girls try it already. One girl went from doing 5 pull-ups to 15. One went from doing 6 to 14. For me, I went from doing 0 initially. Now the most I can do is like 12. But it's really amazing the progress you can make if you make that your focus. And not only are you able to get better at pull-ups, you also have a better physique when your back is stronger and bigger. So if you think about it, if your back is just normal, goes down to your waist looks about the same size as the back. But if you can build your back so it's just a little bit wider, more that V shape, then you taper in at the waist, and it actually makes your waist appear a little bit smaller when you have a nice strong back. So I always recommend trying to strengthen your back and be able to do pull-ups, not only to show off how strong you are, but also to improve your physique. So when it comes to pull-ups, there's a few things about form that I want to go over. A lot of times you'll see people using really quick and bad form. I see this a lot in CrossFitters. They kind of do those more momentum pull-ups where they're kind of swinging their body into it in order to get up. Don't do that. Take your time, slow it down. When you're practicing your pull-ups, make sure you're going up and you're slowly returning down, using control. That way you know you're using 100% your muscles and 0% momentum, which is the easier way, okay? Another thing about form, really focus on pulling your scapula or your shoulder blades down when you're doing the pull-up. A lot of people will kind of keep their shoulders up and get really tense, and then they're not fully engaging their lats, that big muscle on your back. So make sure when you pull, you're also pulling those shoulder blades down, and that will help you get a better contraction of those lats, and it'll make it easier for you. Another thing I want to cover is what's the difference between pull-ups and chin-ups. So it's just a difference in grip, basically. A pull-up is going to be the overhand grip, and that's going to use more of your back muscles, so it's typically a little bit harder. A chin-up is going to use an underhand grip, and that's going to use your biceps a little bit more. So if you're new to doing pull-ups, I recommend you start with doing chin-ups, because that'll allow your biceps to help you out a little bit. That's how I started, was doing really narrow chin-ups, and then once that got easier, then I progressed to some narrow pull-ups and eventually some wider pull-ups. So vary the grip, vary the distance between your hands, narrow and wide. See what's easiest for you, but most people, a narrow chin up is going to be the way to start out. So my online training program to help you conquer pull-ups has 3 phases. We have a beginner, intermediate, and advanced phase. In the first phase, it's all about strengthening the back. So you're doing a lot of exercises like lat pull downs, rows, one arm rows, back pull downs, anything you can do to strengthen the back. And then you're also doing some pull-ups, but they're going to be easier versions. So these are versions anyone can do. The 2 that are on phase 1 are going to be assisted pull-ups, which is using that machine where you're kneeling on the pads and it's helping you lift some of your weight up. And then number 2 is doing negative pull-ups. Negative pull-ups are where you place like a box under the pull-up bar, and then you jump up into the pull-up, and then you're controlling the descent back down. So you're 100% just jumping, you're not really pulling yourself up, and then you're slowly coming back down. So all you gotta do is get a box, and then you're working on those negative pull-ups in this phase 1 of the program. Moving on to phase 2 is actually going into doing actual pull-ups, unassisted, not using momentum. And so this is a phase that you might not get to right away. It might take you a month, it might take you 3 months to be able to move on to phase 2. But this is the phase where you've got to be able to do at least 1 or 2 pull-ups to work through this phase. And in this phase, we just work on different variations of pull-ups, like I've already talked about, pull-ups, chin-ups, narrow, wide, and you're just working on those, working on trying to get more reps out of those. Then phase 3 is for more of the advanced people. Phase 3 is for those of you that can do 10 plus pull-ups in 1 set. This is just kind of a fun phase that I added in. These are ways to do pull-ups that are a little bit more exciting. And so for example, one of them I have you go from a squat and then jump up right into the pull-up and come down and then do a push-up. So I'm just kind of adding in some fun combinations for you with these. Another one I add in is weighted pull-ups, so putting on a weight belt with with a plate or weight hanging from your waist. So doing those is a lot of fun because it challenges you even more once you do pull-ups weighted. And then when you take that weight off, you literally feel like a feather. So it makes your normal body weight pull-ups a lot easier. So anyways, once again, if you're ready to be able to conquer pull-ups and you want to strengthen your back, definitely go to beautifultothecore.com and look at my pull-up article where I share the 3 phases of training that you can go through in order to get better at pull-ups. I hope it helps you, and have a wonderful week.